Hello everyone, my name is Kaylin and welcome to my channel where we discuss, recommend, and dissect all things movies and TV shows and occasionally other forms of media. And today we are going to be discussing the hit TV show on Netflix called Bridgerton. God, I feel like low energy right now. If I sound like I am low energy right now, it is because it is 10 at night. I still haven't figured out a way to shoot at a reasonable hour. Yeah. Bridgerton is a romance drama TV show on Netflix set during Regency era England. We follow Daphne Bridgerton, a beautiful young woman from a wealthy, prestigious family, as she is entering in adulthood and trying to find a suitable husband. While at the same time, Simon Bassett's Duke of Hastings is a bad boy who doesn't want to get married in revenge against his father. But things get complicated when these two come together and start falling in love. Story as old as time. So what did I like about the show? Number one, the costumes. Bruh. The costumes were... I'm sorry, I'm gonna cry right now. Those costumes were fire. Those costumes were fire. Oh, those costumes are fire. I am a sucker for sparkles. I am a sucker for pearls. I am a sucker for rhinestones. I am a sucker for silk. Okay, those costumes were laid, snatched, beautiful. Just, oh, those costumes. Daphne's dresses is just no words. No words. Especially the dress when she descends down a staircase to flex. When she flexed down that staircase, I was like, oh girl, get that. Oh, that's right, girl, flex. Flex those diamonds. Flex those rhinestones. Flex those feathers. Got those curls. Oh God, those costumes were fire. Oh, so beautiful. Also, Simon. Not because he's a greatly written character, like, no, not at all by all means. Honestly, his character is pretty regular for something like this, but the actor is male perfection. Every time he is on screen, he just oozes like, yeah, I'm that guy. Yes. But is he a greatly written character? Not really. Honestly, Simon as a character, he's pretty stupid. But when you see his backstory and how like he has a horrible father and how he used to be treated, it's kind of like, like his actions in his adulthood kind of make sense even though they are so unbelievably stupid and it's like toxic masculinity. The house. Honestly, this entire show could be like why toxic masculinity is so unbelievably stupid and how it literally gets nothing done. Also, many of the side characters were pretty good. The cast certainly has a lot of chemistry with each other. You really do get the sense that they are enjoying themselves in their roles. Violin covers on pop songs like Bad Guy for Billie Eilish. Yes. All the way, yes. Now I am obsessed with violin covers of pop songs. Bad Guy and Chandelier is the only thing I've been listening to for the past like week. And the show also did some things that I didn't expect. I completely did not expect for Simon and Daphne to get married this soon. I expected to wait until at least season 2 for it to happen. So for them to completely jump in and say, yep, they're getting married and we still got some episodes to go, so strap in. Good for you. I'm getting so sick and tired of stories prolonging courtship to an absurdly long time for absolutely no reason. Even though we all know they're gonna get together anyway, we all know they're gonna get together, so let's just get them married, get it over with, and let them live their life as a couple. I appreciate that. That is one trope that I'm so glad that they subverted. And it also shows that marriage life is not boring, because most romances, they always start and end with the courtship. To me, that's kind of lazy. I feel like there's still a lot of things to do for stories about marriage, but you know, for some reason they still like focus on courtship because they think that's the sauciest parts ever. And it's like, at this point, we watch so many romances. The tropes are starting to get kind of stale, and I'm kind of happy that they focus on the second phase of a relationship. Good for them on that. I'm happy that they did that. Also, I like how unapologetically tongue-in-cheek they are. It feels like this show knows that they're over the top and campy and soapy, and they're just here for the sparkles, the dramatics. We are that. We know we are that. We are enjoying this as much as you guys are enjoying this. They completely commit to what they are. The vibe is also very energetic. It's colorful. It's very lighthearted. Honestly, you don't really have to think too hard because it's just good, turn your brain off fun. So for my slight criticisms, I did feel the show kind of rushed itself towards the end. It didn't really develop some stuff, some major stuff. It just kind of like just brushed it aside to end it quickly. So I kind of wish they take out some stuff, the sex scenes, but you didn't hear from me, and focus more on the development. Even though I did say I did like that they lean towards more fun and lighthearted, but I also kind of feel like they could have gone deeper with some commentary, especially with race, as I'm finna explain to you in a little bit. The show being just dumb fun would have been fine if only they didn't bring up certain topics that leads to many questions and concerns. Okay, so my bigger criticisms on Bridgerton is that they loudly claim that they are progressively diverse, but honestly, when you look at the show, they really don't. They just dip their toe in it. And the representation that they do have is super sus. For example, dark-skinned males are pretty much in the background. They don't have any to do, and the ones that do have significant speaking roles are either villainous, mean, and downright terrible, or they're tools of entertainment and they are less fortunate. And it's especially true for Simon's father, who is a darker skinned male, and he is portrayed basically as a villainous, evil man. And the second dark-skinned male is a fighter who fights for entertainment and does a lot of scraping to get by. Also, most of the darker-skinned black women are also in the background and do not have significant speaking roles. The only one who does is Lady Danbury, but she's a mammy character and has some sprinkling of magical, mystical Negro. Not living for it at all. She is a fun character, but you can't. It's there. It's glaringly obvious. Other black women who do have significant speaking roles are lighter skinned, and they're also not portrayed the best either. For example, Queen Charlotte, the first black queen in European history in this world, behaves poorly. She drinks, she does drugs, she's portrayed as vain and frivolous, and is not portrayed in a fun, bubblegum pop type of way like Marie Antoinette. It's portrayed as a miserable experience like Queen Anne from The Favorite. Marina is portrayed as a threat by the Featherton family, especially by Penelope, and she is also a unwed, soon-to-be teen mother. And in the end of the season, she gets a less than desirable ending. The show do try by making her cunning and smart and also very desirable to many people, but they still code her with many problematic black stereotypes that are constantly thrown at black women. Gingervere Delcroix is played by a biracial woman, and her character also has the same problem. She is also portrayed as a schemer and over-sexualized. And the wife of Henry Granville, again, has the same problem. It's not a bad thing to have female characters who own their sexuality. It's a problem when white women on the show is portrayed as pure and innocent, and women of color are basically portrayed as Jezebels. There's no variety between the two. You're either one or the other. There's no mixture of two. And the show just looks at us like we're supposed to just go with it, and it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. We see what you're doing. It is so easy to spot, and they act like we don't see it. Like, they act like we don't discuss things like that. Like, we don't constantly discuss how Black people and people of color are portrayed as them in the media. Like, do you guys honestly don't think we talk about it and we can't spot it immediately? After so many years, you think we're that stupid? Girl, get out of my face. The Take did a great video on Bridgerton on how it is a reflection on modern culture, and the show could have gone deeper into commentary and comparisons on Black people and our impact on history and culture. There were so many opportunities, but it brushed it under the rug with one-off dialogue between Lady Danbury and Simon about how the king marrying a Black woman changed the landscape of race relations. Like, it's saying that because of this monumental union, racism doesn't exist. No? Like, it's a slap in the face. It's pretty much implying that racism is not a complex issue. Like, if something like this happened, then racism would just magically go away, and it has nothing to do with deep-seated hatred and capitalism and so many other layers. If you want it to be a fantastical soap opera period piece and not deal with the intricacy of race, that's fine. Just don't bring it up, because when you do, you open the floodgates of, okay, we have to call you out by your name. We have to drag you by the edges. We need to unveil you. We need to go in deep. We need to ask these serious questions. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't care about the Bridgertons. Like, the main family, the Bridgertons. I don't care about not one character in that family. Like, do I like some more than the other? Of course. But for the most part, Daphne, I don't care about at all. She is seriously every single Keira Knightley role ever. Just a mashup of every single Keira Knightley role that woman has ever done in the history of her entire career. I could be looking too much into it, but does the actress Daphne look like Keira Knightley? Everything about her just screams Keira Knightley. You know from jump that she's going to be okay. The writers are not going to let anything happen to her. They sympathize with her too much. There's also no nuance to her character. Like I said, she is literally every single Keira Knightley role ever. 3.0. What am I supposed to do with that? Like, the only thing that's special about her is her wardrobe. Her wardrobe is chef kiss. Her costumes had more personality than her personality. I thought Eloise was okay. She wasn't annoying, but she does have that, I'm not like other girls. I like to read. I don't like dresses and girly things. I'm different. Okay, sis. Okay. She never crossed over to being annoying, but you do kind of side-eye her for when she tears apart women who do care about marriage, because it's not inherently a bad thing. It would have been better if she was like, okay, I don't quite agree with it, but you do you and I do me, and I just don't bring it up and just tear you down over it. Anthony, his character was so aggravating. Like, everything that happens in the show is like 80% his fault. All the problems that the family have would not have happened if only he just listened to them in the first place. And the way he basically terrorizes this opera singer with his on and off hot and cold antics was grating. Either put a ring on her finger, because what's the worst that can happen? Oh, people talk bad about you? Like, okay. He cares too much about the family name and the reputation, and it's like, but for what? For what though? You guys are rich. You guys are just one rich family in a group of rich families. What difference will it make? I mean, sure, maybe they'll talk like, oh, he married an opera singer? So what about his other brothers? They're single, right? Anyway, the two brothers, Colin and Benedict, they were the Bridgertons that I were the most okay with. Benedict more so than Colin's because I have a soft spot for artist characters and he seems like a chill guy. But I do wish they went all the way with him being like LGBTQ. But you know, sure, why not? One of the critiques and also the wish fulfillment that I have about the show is the Bridgertons should have been black. I know, how dare I? And also, not only make the Bridgertons black, but I mean black. I'm not talking about light skin or biracial, I mean black. It would have meant so much more and would have been more interesting if they were. Like, can you imagine having a leading dark-skinned black woman lead this entire show and have her be feminine, soft, innocent, desirable, the it girl who looks like Lupita Nyong'o or Normani or Naomi Campbell or Gabrielle Union 3.0 in those Daphne costumes, descending down that staircase, flexing, and all the suitors are lining up just to get 2 seconds of her attention, and she is the belle of the ball. I would have taken the show all the way to the Vatican to have the show blessed. Except, of course, not with the whole plot point of Daphne sexually assaulting Simon and forcing him to have children when it is something he did not consent to. I can't believe that in 2021 or 2020, when the show might have been in production, that they did not take something like that out. Like, we're having better conversations on consent and sexual assault on men. And it's tone deaf and kind of icky that the screenwriters of the show or the showrunner did not see a problem. And it's also very sick that they framed it as Daphne being in the right and what she did was a power move. No. She faced no repercussions on what she did and gets rewarded for committing sexual assault. And they try to justify her actions as, oh, we went through this plot point to make her more complex. You know for a fact that if the roles were reversed, they would not be justifying anything. Committing assault doesn't make you complex. It makes you a monster. And being a woman doesn't exalt you from it. I already did not care about Daphne, but that pushed me to throw her into the trash can. No, that's got to go. She has to go. Popular entertainment is obviously colorist. There's no way to get around that. Lighter skinned women are put on a pedestal. Think of your Beyoncés or your Tessa Thompsons or Amanda Strawberg. They are constantly prioritized for roles and their femininity are never questioned. But on the other side, darker skinned women is a completely different story. They are constantly being portrayed as more masculine, more unattractive. For example, remember when Michelle Obama, the Michelle Obama, Queen of the Earth, the one we do not deserve on this planet, has been called ugly, a transsexual, even compared to a monkey. And also Megan Thee Stallion. Remember when she was shot and there was supposed to be unquestioned a flood of support for her, but instead she was mocked and questioned? This stuff is not a coincidence. I'm sorry for the ones who deny colorism. It's just the examples is too specific. It's too much a coincidence to just say, oh, it's not real. It would have been the perfect opportunity to have a corrective promotion for not only Black women, but the representation of the Black family. It would have been beautiful to see a Black family be loving and close-knit and have each other's back, because we really don't get to see that as much on TV or movies. And of course the reason for that, it obviously dates back all the way to slavery, where the Black family were torn apart because of being sold, torture, and death. And over the years, it just trickled down to an influx of broken families. I wholeheartedly believe in the power of an image, and we constantly see broken image of people of color, then I do feel like it will reflect back into reality. And if we create more positive images of Black people, I'm not saying it's gonna fix the entire world, but it will help. Also, would have shown a wider range of Black masculinity with the Bridgerton boys, and I would have cared about the characters 100 times more. The Bridgerton family is like all the other families. Honestly, they're not special. I mean, maybe they're richer and they're more attractive, but if it wasn't for a little thing called plot, they would just blend into the background. But if you made them Black, they would be in an anomaly. It would have been more interesting if the show made the comparison to the Black Bridgerton family to modern families like the Obamas, Denzel Washington's family, or the Smith family. A family like that have privileges that affords them many comforts and opportunities that many people don't have access to because of who their family are. Are they talented outside of their family name? For the most part, yes, but they can still get through doors easier than everyone else. It would have been more interesting to see how a Black Bridgerton family move and navigate, because like I said, they would be a anomaly. It would be interesting to see how they would interact with their surroundings, because according to the show, race does play a factor, just not as heavy or pervasive as it is in real life. And you don't see other aristocratic Black people except for Simon, Lady Danbury, and the Queen. Even in the background, it's not a lot. So Black aristocrats on the level of at least Simon are still few and far in between from what we see, which would make sense. Queen Charlotte has been on the throne for what seems like at least a decade or so. Therefore, according to the logic of the show, slowly but surely Black people in the Bridgerton world are on the come up. And it interests me to see if the Bridgertons was a Black family that already made their way up to prestige. And making the comparison to Will Smith's children, the Bridgerton children are part of the elite, and they have to navigate it. Like, how much leeway do they really have? Do they feel out of place from both sides, from the elite circle and everyone else? Would they feel even more pressure? And maybe a comparison between how they are raised between the Bassett family and the Bridgertons. Simon's father was the wrong way to go about it, but for the Black Bridgerton parents, they did everything right and gave their children love and affection. Every time the Bridgertons say something about their reputation or their family name, I would have been like, yes, your reputation, your honor, your name, protect it with your life. And with Queen Charlotte, I'm not asking for them to make her perfect, but what we got is pretty offensive. This is one of the very few times we see Black European royalty on screen, and this is the representation that you went with? They explained it in the show that the union between Queen Charlotte and the King was monumental, but they legit don't show it. And it's treated like whatever. What do you mean whatever? They had the perfect opportunity to make a comparison with Queen Charlotte to someone like Michelle Obama, a leader and a role model that's savvy, witty, aspirational. And it would have been good commentary on how we're still saying the first of anything. The first African American something, the first Afro-Latina, the first Korean something, the first Asian anything. And how if you're the first of anything, you set the standard. And it would have been perfect to portray what the comedian Monique said about Black entertainers that came before her. They had to take a lot of the abuse and mistreatment so young Black women after her don't have to endure the same treatment. Again, I'm not asking for Queen Charlotte to be perfect. She can have flaws and make mistakes, but they missed out on having an iconic character. Can you imagine seeing the relationship between Queen Charlotte and a Black Daphne and an entire conversation going something like this? Queen Charlotte's like, I had to walk fabulously so you can run. Oh, that would have been sick. Oh, that would have been so good. That would have been so good. I would have died happy. So, yeah, I think that's it. I didn't really have much to say about Bridgerton. Like I said, it's a fun, campy show, although like I said, I wish it would have done so much more different and gone a little bit deeper. But for what we have, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing a season 2. Hopefully they'll do better next season and have a little bit of variety, because why not? You already made so many changes to the source material. Why not just go balls to the walls? Just saying. Just saying. But until then, I am going to watch a film that has actual diversity that was made in 1996. What on earth happened since then? I have no clue. Brandy's version of Cinderella that is on Disney Plus right now. I'm gonna watch that for the 1 millionth time and get my life in for the sparkles and the singing and the choreography and the crowns and the glitter and sequins and sparkles, rhinestones, swirling dresses, satin. It's beautiful. Well, that is it for this video. If you want to see more, then please subscribe, like, hit the bell for notifications, and I will see you next time.